you. No. Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello,
so glad to be here.
Faye with us tonight, and Dale Stine.
Yes.
Hey.
And a first-time visit for an anchor, Maxx Fenning.
Well,
Glad to have you, Matt.
Hi, Maxie. Good to meet you
Yes.
again. I saw him
we
over
can
the
call you
weekend.
Maxie, right?
Yes.
Maxie.
Yeah.
So I'm at Trans Collaborative.
Yes, I
People
did.
call me Maximilian. I've heard Maxi Pad.
Whole
word.
Is Max the legal?
It is, yes. Not anything longer
We'll
than that.
not call you Maxie.
Now-
Pad.
Okay, I
You're
appreciate
not.
that.
I'm specifically not saying how old Max is because you can't see yet until we start the show.
Let's just say that Al has underwear older than him. We'll leave it there, guys. Let's start the show.
Here we go. Well, welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening news. It's time to queer up the news. It's 8 p.m. Wednesday, August 18th, and we are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
Thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, you will see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by viewers like you. We are part of the Happening Out television network, Hotspots Magazine, and WMEG Events. Hotspots is celebrating 35 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and Merged, we bring you the best of LGBTQ plus news, entertainment, and support of our LGBTQ plus community.
This evening, we are going to bring you the news of and a perspective representing that LGBTQ plus community from South Florida, America, and across our planet. I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, Al Ferguson. Let's begin by welcoming anchor Faye What? She's a radio and television personality and has the popular blog and YouTube channel aiming to unite the L and the G together. She's a hostess and MC for many South Florida events, an animal advocate, and owner of Faye's Fur Family, and is the anchor of the travel news show Happening Out Travel. Also, make sure to catch the Faye What Show on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Good evening, Faye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am super happy to be here. Make sure that you spay and neuter your pets.
Yes.
I totally was thinking of Bob Barker there. Wow. All right. Let's welcome anchor Dale Stine. He's just a great friend of the show and of mine also. He has received a master's degree from world-famous Gilead School. He's also a well-known photographer and is famous for his photographs of internationally acclaimed DJs, producers, drag personas, politicos, business people, and entertainers. He is presently the director of music ministry at Unity on the Bay and moderator of South Florida's largest LGBTQ plus Facebook group, Miami Gay List. He also served on the Miami Beach LGBTQ plus advisory committee for the full 8-year term, along with several other Queer News Tonight anchors here, Cindy Brown. He now sits on the city's Human Rights Committee as well. Welcome home, Dale.
Well, thank you, Faye. That was a glorious intro, and I really appreciate it. And yes,
Give me those $20.
yes,
I want
Now.
Faye to introduce me.
spay and neuter. I agree with that. Okay, let's welcome Maxx Fenning, the newbie from Prism. Maxx founded this amazing nonprofit organization that works to expand access to LGBTQ plus inclusive education and sexual health resources for LGBTQ plus youth in South Florida. And now, at 19 years old and a senior at the University of Florida, Maxx serves as Prism's president, where he continues to advocate for marginalized youth within the LGBTQ plus community. Welcome, Maxx.
Thank you, Dale. Let's welcome Cindy Brown. She is an icon in the LGBTQ plus community, early organizer of Miami AIDS Walk, the White Party for Care Resource, and other major events. She has served as executive director of Miami-Dade Gay and Lesbian Chamber Foundation and LGBTQ Visitor Center. She's founding executive director of Miami Beach Pride and currently serves as program manager for Jewish Community Services, LGBTQ Lambda Living Program for LGBT seniors. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you. It's always so great to be here with you, lovely people. And we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight. And this evening, we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Wednesday, August 18th.
Well, let's begin by queering up health. Gilead warns that counterfeit versions of its HIV meds are being found in U.S. pharmacies. U.S. pharmacies are selling counterfeit versions of HIV medication, according to the biopharmaceutical company Gilead Sciences. Specifically, Gilead warned that knockoff versions of its Biktarvy and Descovy medications have circulated through pharmacies due to unauthorized distributors. Both medications are used to treat people living with HIV. Descovy is also used as PrEP to prevent HIV negative people from contracting the virus. The company is working with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, pharmacies, and other legal authorities to track down the culprits and remove the counterfeit meds from the market. Gilead said the counterfeit and tampered medicines can, quote, bring serious and sometimes life-threatening health risk to individuals, end quote.
Okay, so let's not get those meds mixed up, man.
Right.
Biktarvy is little purple, Viagra is blue, right? Okay, want to make sure that we got that. No, but seriously, that's some scary stuff.
It's
Very
not, it's
scary
not like the
stuff.
pharmaceutical industry needs bad press anymore than it already has.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But can you
Man.
imagine someone after a night with someone that they had an encounter unprotected and they take this medicine thinking that they're going to be covered and then they're not?
They're
Right, and then it's like this false sense of security.
That's some scary ass.
Any medication that you take that's could possibly be counterfeit, that's really scary.
You know, the top takeaways of Gilead's announcement is, first off, don't panic,
Don't
because
panic,
the
right.
worst possible decision is fear leads to hesitation, which
Right.
means you stop
People
using
won't take their meds,
PrEP,
yeah.
and you're not taking your HIV drugs. That would be a very bad decision.
Very bad.
The number one recommendation that Gilead and health officials make in this situation is to make sure that you're buying your meds from pharmacies that are the most reputable. For us, the most recognized are CVS and Walgreens. Make
Yeah.
sure that you're buying from very reputable pharmacies until the situation is correct.
Right.
So Abuela's
Very good
Pharmacy in
advice.
Hialeah, no, right? Abuela's Pharmacy in
And there are,
Hialeah.
and there
okay.
are ways that indicate that what the medicine is legit.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are numbers on it, there are letters.
Yes,
Right.
and there's a video of how to check, the packaging and everything.
Number one, CVS and Walgreens.
Right.
Okay, not
exactly.
Abuelas in Hialeah. Got it. All right. Next, let's queer up gay culture. Here are the final 21. Okay, let me take a moment. All right. Here are the final 21 surviving lesbian bars in the U.S. Queer and especially lesbian bars have been slowly disappearing since their high point in the late 1980s, when an estimated 200 lesbian bars existed in the country. Now there are only 21. Last year, Lea Delaria from Orange is the New Black, well, she launched the Lesbian Bar Project, a grassroots fundraising turned documentary film to support and celebrate the last 21 lesbian bars. Remember these names before we lose more of our community, all right? So, Boycott Bar in Phoenix, Blush and Blue in Denver, Slammers in Columbus, The Back Door in Bloomington, Wild Side West in San Francisco, The Lipstick Lounge in Nashville, A League of Her Own in Washington, D.C., My Sister's Room in Atlanta, Ginger's in Brooklyn, Pearl Bar in Houston, Walker's Pint in Milwaukee, Wild Rose in Seattle, Yellow Brick Road Pub in Tulsa, Henrietta Hudson's in Manhattan, Frankie's in Oklahoma City, Hers in Mobile, Babes of Carytown in Richmond, Cubby Hole in Manhattan, Gossip Grill in San Diego, Alibis in Oklahoma City, and Sue Ellen's in Dallas.
What's
Oh,
going
that is so
on?
sad.
What's going on with the girls?
Well, girls get married and stay home, many of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's a big drop.
It is
221.
I
Pretty
came
much.
out
In 40 years.
I came out in the lesbian bars in the 80s, and it's just, it's so disappointing. I noticed that they're all in kind of southern state. I mean, not all, but many, which probably don't have the community.
I probably have gotten drunk in all those bars.
All of them?
All of them, and probably not allowed to go back to
And
most
now
of them.
that you're in sobriety, you won't be going back to those?
Oh, I frequent all the bars. I don't drink at them. I've gone to bars with you. I don't need to drink to
Wouldn't
have
it
a
be
good
the
time.
looker.
great to do a national tour and just to go to every bar?
Yes, my boobs should go to all of them.
Like in an RV, like take it around.
An RV. I'm not that lesbian.
I'm curious, Max.
In a U-Haul truck. Let's go.
Max, you're a Gen Zer. Have you ever even been in a lesbian bar?
No,
Never.
I have not been in a lesbian
He's
bar.
not old enough to drink.
Yeah,
That's
but,
true.
apparently, you aren't either. Because, I'm curious, from your perspective, what do you think is going on in the lesbian community? PRISM serves and supports LGBTQ youth, including Gen Zers and millennials, both male and female and trans. What do you think is happening in the girls' community?
Yeah, I think that, a lot of, the LGBT community, like I think that L is really underrepresented. I think that G really comes out strong a lot of times. And so I think that really contributes to, the sort of lesbian community sort of falling to the wayside in a lot of that. So.
Yeah. Do we worry that the representation of what's going on in bars, in lesbian bars, is also a representation of what we think about the lesbian community broadly?
Oh, absolutely.
It could totally be. I mean, a lot of lesbians do not feel comfortable at your guys' bars.
Exactly.
They don't. They don't feel welcome. They don't feel like they want to be there and have a good time. I personally don't feel that way, but I've only been turned away from one gay bar in my life, and you were with me.
I was
Where was
yeah.
So I mean, but I know women that don't feel comfortable at gay bars and they just prefer doing house stuff.
Yeah, when there have been like big dance parties, when I used to go to big dance parties, it would be like a very, very small contingency of lesbians.
Yeah.
Like you could count on your two.
Go ahead.
And I also think that when there have been lesbian spaces, they're so much fun. So, men started going to lesbian spaces and then they weren't lesbian spaces anymore.
I point out the elephant in the room here. Queer News Tonight, and it's Happening Out Television Network. We're broadcasting from what we joke is the gayest place on planet Earth. To my mind, there's not a single lesbian bar in all of South Florida.
No. There used to be I can name them.
Well, just a couple of years ago, we had G-Spot in Wilton, Wilton Manors, and unfortunately, it wasn't frequented, and they had to close down.
Right.
Well, hopefully we will not continue to have Faye list all of the surviving lesbian bars in America in one news report. Let's hope.
Well,
So it's too long.
well, now we queer up entertainment. Drag Race UK makes history with first Bio Queen Contestant. The BBC has unveiled the contestants for season 3 of Drag Race UK. Among the contestants is Victoria Scone, who will be the first cisgender woman to compete as a contestant. Yes, I was correct on that. Drag Race Thailand previously featured a cis woman, or bio drag queen, in an audition round, but she did not proceed to be a full contestant. Scone, whose real name is Emily, told the BBC, quote, "Drag's always been a part of my life. I genuinely think I was born to be a drag queen, but I really didn't know how or if, as a woman, that was a possibility for me," end quote. Emily, 27, lives in Cardiff, Wales, and says she has a big persona, is very much old school British drag and very, very camp. She says that she has occasionally faced criticism for being a drag queen, but hopes her appearance on Drag Race will promote greater diversity in the drag world. Now watch this.
I'm here! My name is Victoria Scone, and I'm Cardiff's camp cabaret disco diva. Here I am making Drag Race history. Some people want to put a label on it and call me an AFAB drag queen, which stands for assigned female at birth. But I am just a drag queen. Drag is for everyone, and I'm here to show you how. If you come to a scone show, you're going to get all the divas, a bit of Barbara, a bit of Donna Summer, Shirley Bassey. I was brought up by old school drag queens, and that's what I love about drag, the entertainment of it all. I love what drag allows me to do. I feel like I can get away with absolutely anything when I'm Victoria. I want to be the evil queen in a panto.
Oh my God, I love her. I love her energy, her vibrancy. I love everything about her, but she's gonna lose.
But she is a total drag queen.
I'm sorry.
I mean, she is a drag queen.
No, but she is. I mean, I've been called a drag queen on more than one occasion, and I take that as a huge compliment, okay?
Right.
Whenever someone says that to me, I think she's fabulous. But again, she's not going to win.
You use the word in relation to drag queen being over the top.
Over the top,
flamboyant.
extra, very extra.
Based on that promo, I think she's fantastic.
She
just zings.
Yeah.
But I agree with Faye, she's not going to win.
Yeah.
But she's still super fabulous.
Why do both of you say that?
I just don't think she's going to. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
it was so abrupt and harsh.
There was one little bit of fabulousness missing there.
Oh, and
there was.
It's not because that she is a bio queen.
No.
It's because you don't think she can win.
Exactly.
I wasn't sure.
Exactly.
I wasn't-
No,
I
no, not at all.
think
Because
it might have some partially because she's
Okay,
a bio queen.
and I've already done it twice tonight. Maxx, at 19 years old, a huge
Max,
fan.
do you know what a drag queen is?
Yes, I know what a drag queen is.
All right.
Huge fan of RuPaul, are you?
I will say I've watched the first episode of the first season. That's
And you were
about-
what, 6?
That was
12 years ago.
no, I watched it way after, like a year ago. I watched it on like Netflix or something.
And that was it?
But you know, I know a lot about like the history of drag and like the
herstory, Max,
the
the
herstory of
Right.
drag. And I think
Let's give him that.
I think what's important to note is you know, like drag culture was really like cultivated by like trans women, and trans women are women, and so I think that that's something that's really important to sort of note here.
So you're supportive of the idea that there's a bio queen in the
Yeah,
show.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm curious why only one episode of season 1, which is the famous season of "Why are you so bright, Miss RuPaul?"
I don't know. I just never watched it. I started at the beginning.
If
and
you
never
only watched season
it.
1, there's a reason why you only
I've
watched.
been told that
Yes,
it's not.
exactly.
It's not
We
quite
We got to
there.
find a drag name for you.
You know, it's interesting
absolutely.
for me. This is giant news. When we talked about this right before the show, this is really big news in the world of RuPaul. For years, having a trans queen represented in RuPaul's Drag Race was an absolute impossible. It was, we're not doing it, period, the end. There wasn't even a dream of a bio, naturally born female drag queen ever being on the show. I hosted and ran a RuPaul drag cruise from Southampton that had 3,000 fans, mostly Europeans, mostly British, and we had probably 25 RuPaul queens on the cruise that sailed from Southampton in Britain to Barcelona. And it was a fabulous Royal Caribbean cruise. It was just incredible shows. It's impossible for me to think that there would have been a female or a born female drag queen on that cruise.
Wow.
This is impossible. It's impossible. And thank goodness RuPaul has broken the rule and
Right.
low. I cheer Victoria Scone. You've already won this show. Regardless of what happens,
Right.
you won this show. All right.
Oh, absolutely. Let's queer up the world, how you can help LGBTQ plus Afghans in crisis. As Afghanistan descends into chaos with the pullout of U.S. troops and the resurgence of the Taliban, many people are rightly worried about the fate of LGBTQ plus Afghans. But we can also take action. Numerous organizations are helping LGBTQ plus folks who remain in the country and those seeking to flee, and they can use your monetary support. Here are some of those groups: Rainbow Railroad, Outright Action International, Immigration Equality, ILGA World, Human Rights Campaign Global, and the Council for Global Equality. Activists warn that it's extremely dangerous for LGBTQ plus people in Afghanistan to be recognized as such now, so they're being careful to make sure any aid doesn't draw attention to them. For even more ways to help Afghan people in general, there are also several other global organizations easily found online.
It's never really been a good time to be LGBTQ plus in
No.
Afghanistan.
Ever.
Ever. So now it's just beyond the pale.
Even worse, and we reported on Monday that it was between 1.5 and 1.9 million LGBTQ there. So, I mean,
wow.
they could get killed, they could
Yeah.
get stoned. I mean, it could be awful.
Well, I think anybody that's left there will be killed because they were working with Americans.
Well, 550,000 were displaced as of last month. Imagine how many more now, you know? But Biden has pledged to send 500 million to support the refugees, and that's a start. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I totally felt helpless after these stories. Like, what do you do?
course.
And these organizations are vetted. If you want to help, this is the way to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
The problem is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
When we reported on this story, there's some differences. I agree with Dale that it's never been a good time to be LGBT in Afghanistan, but it is at its worst moment in history. Since 9/11, Sharia law has not been the rule of law. The Taliban has not been the ruling decision-making in Afghanistan for 20 years. Right. The defeat of what we have watched in the last week, which is tragic, bringing the Taliban back to power, brings Sharia law. We reported at Queer News Tonight a month ago that one of the leading judges in Afghanistan said that if you were gay, there were two outcomes. It's not anything other than these two outcomes. If you are gay in Afghanistan and they catch that you are gay in Afghanistan, meaning male or female is the way they were referring to it, one judgment on you was you would be stoned to death, or the second judgment on you is that they would place you up against a 9 to 10 foot wall and they would push the wall over on you and crush you to death. Oh. There was no third option. 1.5 to 1.9 million LGBT in Afghanistan face that fate if they are caught. So when we refer at Queer News Tonight, these global organizations to try to find ways to help this community, our community, we're not kidding, because potentially we are seeing a humanitarian disaster develop. The only equivalent for LGBT that we've ever seen in the last 100 years is the Nazi camps,
right.
World War II, the Holocaust.
Yeah, tragic. Now let's queer up sports. The 2020 Paralympics will see the most openly LGBTQ athletes ever. A record number of openly LGBTQ plus athletes compete in the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics, according to Outsports. Man, my tongue got all tied. On the heels of the nearly 200 out athletes who competed in the Tokyo Olympics, the Paralympics will welcome at least 22 out competitors to the international stage, nearly double the number that competed in Rio in 2016. That figure is expected to grow in the coming weeks as more athletes are identified. The sport representing the greatest number of out athletes is currently wheelchair basketball, which will see 9 out competitors representing the US, Great Britain, Canada, and the Netherlands on the court. I love seeing all these out athletes.
The visibility is incredible. How about the regular Olympics? You know, I was one of those people that only watched it this time because of the out athletes that were in it. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
And so many athletes feel comfortable and supported coming out, which is
You know, it's
great.
interesting. We reported at Queer News repeatedly that in Tokyo at the Olympic Games, overwhelmingly the largest number of LGBT participants ever phase interest in the Olympics was because of it.
Sports.
But 70% of all of the athletes that were out athletes at the Olympics were women. They way overproduced in terms of the game.
They didn't need a lesbian bar.
And that's right. It was the Olympic Village, actually.
You know, it's the sporty tomboy lesbian thing.
Yes.
Lesbian bar why?
Yes.
Now, if they had an Olympic sport in musical theater,
Yes.
I think that would
I'm
be
on it.
different.
And that was that's where I was leading to the question: do gay men, just focusing on gay men, do gay men care much about sports like the Olympics, the NFL, the NBA? Do we really care that much?
I know a
about
lot
it?
who do. I know a lot who genuinely enjoy it.
but
Oh, really?
I love
What
it.
are your preferred?
I watched.
Water
I'm not
sports?
kidding you. I watched 40 to 50 hours of the Olympics.
Wow.
A
That's
lot, for sure. Max, are you a sports fan?
I gotta say I'm not, but I did, like Faye said, like I was really invested in the Olympics, particularly because of that representation, and also a lot of the other things that came about. Like there was a lot of discussion on how people of color are treated in the Olympics too. That really engaged me in that sort of discussion.
Well, whether you're supportive of sports or not, I love that we're having this conversation of the number of out athletes that are competing in the Paralympics. That is really important because you hit it right at the top of the story. Representation, of course, matters.
Yes, I know gay boys that watch sports with it muted just to look at their butts.
To see the butts in the
That is
football
not sports.
uniforms. Yeah.
That is Grindr.
So that is our queer news for tonight. So let's catch up on the LGBTQ plus news surrounding COVID-19 with our special segment called Quarantine Quickies.
Queer News Tonight has reported on the coronavirus on every news broadcast since January 6th of 2020.
Tonight, we report that as of today, more than 2,653,000 LGBTQ plus Americans have contracted COVID-19.
And Queer News Tonight remembers the more than 44,000 LGBTQ plus Americans that have died from coronavirus.
But the news is improving because as of today, more than 357 million vaccination doses have been administered in the United States.
That is our pandemic news for tonight. Next, we report on our partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine in supporting that partnership.
Happening Out Television Network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ plus religious live broadcast in the world, as more than 30,000 watch every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Watch this.
Hi, I'm Athena Dion, drag performer known from performing on South Beach and in Mykonos, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Finally, we thank Queer News Tonight's sponsor, Best Western I-95 Fort Lauderdale. This is the closest and best choice to the famous Wilton Drive, and our hosts and guests stay at this LGBTQ plus ally partner. We encourage you to stay here when visiting South Florida.
Well, now we finish tonight's queer news headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ Flash News. LGBTQ Flash News. Pete Buttigieg announces he and husband Chasten Buttigieg are becoming parents. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who made history as the first openly gay cabinet member in the United States history to be confirmed by the Senate, that's a dig at Richard Grinnell, announced on Tuesday that he and husband Chasten Buttigieg are becoming fathers. The former 2020 Democratic presidential candidate and South Bend, Indiana mayor revealed on Twitter that the couple, married in 2018, is growing their family. In the tweet, he said, quote, "For some time, Chasten and I have wanted to grow our family. We're overjoyed to share that we are becoming parents. The process isn't done yet, and we're thankful for the love, support, and respect for our privacy that has been offered to us. We can't wait to share more soon." End quote.
I hope they have a girl and that they name her Chastity Faye.
I want to be reincarnated. Like, I'm ready to check out now so I can be reincarnated to be that baby and learn 8 languages.
Wow. Well, mazel tov. I think that you'll be great parents, and I look forward to seeing the new person soon too.
I saw this meme that said, if you call Chasten the husband, does that mean Mayor Pete or Pete Buttigieg is the wife? And I think that was a bit of a misunderstanding as to how that works.
A little misunderstanding.
Yeah.
You know more history. Of course, we love that they're going to be happy with their becoming parents and their new child. But for me, it's history, because this is the first cabinet member ever in history that has gay and adopted child in the same sentence, and later will become the first president of the United States
Yes.
that is gay and has adopted a child.
LGBTQ plus flash news.
I'll do it for you, Faye.
Elton John shocks diners with surprise performance at Beachside Restaurant. Even though Sir Elton John's farewell tour has been delayed by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, you can't hold this bitch down, baby. The longtime best-selling pop singer is still wowing audiences with an occasional surprise performance. In fact, John recently recorded a live performance of his newest track while amazed diners hollered and danced along. He even shared the recording on his Instagram for everyone to enjoy afterwards. On Saturday, August 14th, John surprised diners at La Garrette beachfront restaurant in Cannes, Florida. I keep on saying Florida, sorry. Cannes, France, by unexpectedly performing his new track, Cold Heart, during his family's vacation in the southeastern coastal city. Watch this.
During lockdown, I made this single. Came out yesterday with Dua Lipa. So I want you all to dance at the table and wave your hands and your handkerchiefs.
Wow, I just love that clip. I mean, how iconic is it that he could be that comfortable and that great in his own skin that he's just out there doing karaoke with his own tune.
Karaoke with his own
I mean,
song.
it's fantastic.
And everybody that was in that restaurant, what an amazing surprise and a fantastic memory that they'll be able to carry.
And Max, this is the Lion King writer. Just want to make sure you knew who he was.
Yeah, no, he got me tapping my foot from all the way over here.
You know, Elton John's won everything that there is to win on the planet, so I'm not going to say one good word about him. Who I'm going to say something good about is the DJ that has Elton John sitting next to him. That was a moment of a lifetime for him.
Right.
Congratulations to the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
The video of this song gives me life. Watch it. Screw you, the baby.
LGBTQ plus flash news. Woman shocked after gay stranger gives her note warning her about the coffee date. A U.S. woman has seen one of her tweets go viral. In it, she recalls how a gay stranger confirmed her own fears about the date she was on with a man. In a tweet, she said, quote, "I had coffee with a guy yesterday. When he went to the bathroom, the gay guy sitting behind me passed me this note. The note read, 'Too many red flags, run, be safe, girl,' end quote." She continued to explain that she and her date didn't see eye to eye on the DaBaby debate, and that her date was also a Kevin Samuels fan.
Well, I wish someone had slipped me notes on some of the red flags I just didn't see.
Yeah, sometimes you don't catch them. You need a little bit of an exterior sort of second opinion.
Well, I just reveal something that most straight women don't know. I had to sign a pledge when I was 15 years old. When I got my gay card, we always look out for the straight women against the straight men.
Always listen to your gay boys. They're usually spot on when it comes to other people's relationships, not their own.
I want to go to coffee with the woman and the gay man. I need to have that kiki. I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah. No, not so much.
So that is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Then help us by liking and subscribing. Ring the bell for updates. Share this news with your friends and family.
Post this broadcast in the many groups you are a member of. Tonight's stories about our community deserve the attention of your family and friends.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television news in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
Well, we begin to ask you to save the date. We've announced October 20th will be the 3rd anniversary of the Happening Out television network.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a big celebration here at the Sunshine Studios, so make sure you come. We're going to do all kinds of recognition of history, and I have to draw attention that Maxx Fenning will be part of that now, because you are now officially, in 3 years, the youngest anchor participant in the history of the show.
Yay. Congratulations.
And you did
Setting some
great.
records.
And you're
Yeah.
the oldest right
And,
now.
no, that would
No,
be Dale.
I have words for you.
After the
on
show. You were born a good Christian. All right.
Yes, that's
So
good.
mark the date, October 20th. And we remind you, if our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight. I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Faye What, who's jetting off to Puerto Vallarta
Yes,
tomorrow.
hide your women, PV, because Faye is coming down there for 5 days. Whoop,
right.
whoop,
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 whoop.
whoop,
All right.
whoop, whoop. Gay boys, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, and she's not kidding. And Dale Stine, and Maxx Fenning, and Cindy Brown. And we will see you daily at 8 p.m. Good night.
Night.
Bye.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure